Hi Australia, this is Sukhbir, that's right. Oh ho 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 ho, ishq tera tadpaave. And right now you're watching me on BYSQ Itz Showtime. Do give BYSQ some love by liking, following and subscribing. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. So celebrate this special day with your loved ones with my brand new song. ਨੱਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ. Check out the new song only on BYSQ.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ BYSQ Itz Showtime ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਗੈਸਟ ਨੇ ਸੁਖਬੀਰ ਜੀ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਧੁਨ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੱਚਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਭੰਗੜਾ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਵਾਂ ਗਾਣਾ ਹੈ ਨੱਚਦੀ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਤਹਿ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਸੁਖਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਦਾ।
Hello, BYSQers. This is Deepa Aftani, your host for your show BYSQ Itz Showtime. Today we have a very special guest. I don't think we need to give any introduction. If I were to say oh ho ho ho, it goes synonym with none other than Sukhbir ji. So welcome onto our show, Sukhbir. Thank you so much for your time. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. My pleasure. I heard you speaking Punjabi earlier on, and I thought, oh my God, the surname sounds very Sindhi.
It is.
Your Punjabi accent was very, very nice, actually.
Oh, thank you. I always try to, coming from India and obviously, living in Australia, it's pretty multicultural. So it's always good to give that tune. So always worth the effort. So thank you for acknowledging that. But, I must say, we've always heard the wedding anthems being by you. And absolutely 2021 has kickstarted with Nachdi. So a big congratulations, more than 25 million views already since the start of its release. How are you feeling? What's so special about Nachdi, if you could kindly share with us?
Well, I'm feeling very, very good about it because it's a single that I've waited many, many years to release, because this song Nachdi was actually a part of my very first album that I released. The name of the album was New Styly. And this is one of the songs that I really liked personally, and I was hoping that it would be selected to be the first song to be released, as opposed to Punjabi Munde. They were both very close, but I think Nachdi was a little more closer to my heart because it's a song that I wrote myself. It was an attempt at writing. And unfortunately, at that time, the record label decided that Punjabi Munde should be the first song. So I went along with that. But then at the back of my mind, I always thought, when the time is right, I'll work on this song and I'll make sure I release it. And I think after many, many, many years, the time has finally come where I can release this. And it's garnering a lot of love and support, which is very encouraging. And the other different thing I've done for the first time is I've released this single on my own and not on any record label. So it's just a great feeling to be an independent artist again.
Absolutely. There's a well said acknowledgement here, being an independent artist, and today is the way to go. There is a generation or music lovers ready to welcome independent artists, and this is a nice twist, especially with Katilal and Sons में जो धूम मचाई थी आपने, धूम 2 दिल लगा song से ज़्यादा I think it's just become popular. It's just loved by the mass. So 25 million तो views थे, hope 100 million के ऊपर foot tapping हो, especially with the wedding season picking up. Absolutely. Now New Styly was obviously recorded in Dubai, had a lot of foreign influence. The album obviously I must say it's a belated congratulations. You did win Channel V Awards there in 1996, 3 awards in 3 categories. Especially for Punjabi Munde. What's always been so close to heart for you? I mean, I'm talking 2 decades ago, but there's always something special when you start off your career.
Yes, I never imagined to get such a response, such a positive response to my music. I mean, here I was, this little boy, freshly who's come from Nairobi, Kenya, a place probably unheard of in the Western world or in the music world. Um, and I was just working with influences that I grew up listening to, like a lot of reggae, raga. There was a lot of UK Punjabi music, and obviously we had the Bollywood music. And then it just naturally came to me to blend all this. But when I did that, I did not expect such a great and universal acceptance. So
Mm-hmm.
it was very encouraging.
I think more than universal acceptance, it's been generations acceptance. It still, beats the heart. I must say that. And,
Thank you.
anytime, whether it's, let's say Soda Kara Kara came back, again, more than 20 million views instantly. It's always been like, we'd love to hear you. Anytime, any form, and anyhow. So that's there. You've always entertained all of us across the globe. So thank you for that. For that matter, Gal Ban Gayi had got a gold disc in the Indian music industry in
Yes,
1998.
yes.
So that's another, achievement to just when you're just kickstarting your career. I remember seeing your photo where you had put in, how it started versus how it's going. That's a phenomenal,
Okay.
encouraging journey of being on the piano versus, being a super, super sonic solo performer. So
Ji,
absolutely,
ji.
talk us about your world tours. How did you find when you started doing world tours?
Um, wow, it's a phenomenal feeling to go to another country for the very first time
Uh-huh.
and performing to an audience which you've never performed for before, and a large audience, and they're singing your songs. All of a sudden you realize that the power of music, the power of universal love, and that exchange of energy happens on stage, one on one with your fans. It's just uh, I think it's a feeling which is beyond words. Very difficult to explain that. It's probably the biggest payback for an artist to
Mm-hmm.
get on stage, sing a song, and the audience sings louder than him, and they know the words. It's just an amazing, you know, you get so many mixed positive emotions that uh, it's amazing. I'm speechless.
Absolutely. I think you get that buzz in, and as I said, the very fact of oh ho ho comes in, and we know, oh my god, where's Sukhbir? And that's the feeling we get. And we can even still remember the video, and now again with Soda Kara Kara and other songs coming back, it's just a refreshing memory. We also had Dil Laga in Dhoom 2. That was also a
Yes,
twist,
yes, yes.
having you back in Bollywood songs per se. But you're known as Prince of Bhangra, but your music always is complemented with, let's say tabla, congos, guitars, keyboards. What has always been your influence when it came to starting off with music? Like, what was it that ticked you off, saying, "Yeah, music is my another lifeline there."
Well, I just grew up with a musical environment where my dad was classically trained and he sings
Hmm.
Punjabi kirtan in the Sikh Gurdwara, and my brother plays the tabla. So that coupled with my musical influences while growing up, it just really it was a very natural progression for me to use all these instruments that I
Hmm.
was exposed to and
Hmm.
the Indian music that I grew up to. So it wasn't an effort for me to create these sounds. It just came very naturally.
Wow, that's that definitely shows with the mix of so many countries that you bring in, because there's always foreign influence, but it's still desi to heart, I must say. That's there.
Mhm.
Sukhbir ji, tell us about the time 2020 में आपका phone number leak हो गया था समय
हाँ
रैना
जी
से वो वो
हाँ जी हाँ जी
वो
हाँ जी
एपिसोड
I
कैसा था आपका?
oh my God, I made so many new friends, unknown
Oh wow.
friends, strangers, and it was a nice experience. So some of them still keep in touch. That's never happened to me before, so it was a very enlightening experience. It's great to connect with people, but they're all human beings and very loving human beings.
Hmm.
And most of the messages that came to me, they said, "Please, uh, Samay ko dantna nahi. Don't tell him off. Please don't."
How
And the
sweet
best
is
one
that?
was, "Samay ka bhi number de do mere ko."
चलो समय अच्छा गया, इतने सारे उसके फैंस, एंड आपके पाजी तो हजारों लाखों करोड़ में फैंस है, so that's always there. They are always sweet and humble, just like you are, as you're just mentioning. तो आप ये बताइए 2020, how has it been? I wouldn't use the word challenge because you sound so positive. How was it for you? Like, did you create another new musical journey there? What came to your mind when the whole pause came in the world?
Yeah, I think it gave me time to reflect. It gave me a lot of time to spend some quality time with family. I think in our profession, we don't get much of that because of our schedule. There's a lot of traveling involved in what we do. So, very, very valuable time for me. I thoroughly enjoyed spending time with family. I learned the Spanish guitar a little bit, still learning. It's
Amazing.
something I always wanted to do, but never found the time. And then worked on Nachdi, worked on other songs. So, Nachdi is one of a few that are going to come down the line. The next one being another film song, which is a genre which probably most of you haven't heard me singing. It's a slow, romantic, heartbreak stroke love song.
Wow.
So that should be interesting to see how people react to that.
That's वही बोलते हैं. I think ऐसे कहीं सुना है कि पंजाबी songs दुखी नहीं होते, lyrics दुखी होते हैं, music upbeat ही होता है हमेशा. So we are definitely looking forward to your love song because obviously your music, your voice itself is mesmerizing. So complementing with the Spanish guitar that you've just brought in, we would definitely look forward to hearing that. Sukhbir ji, if you can tell us, 2020 was the quarantine for the first time ever in our generation, at least, let's say. So there were a lot of first things that happened in everybody's life. So we usually discuss this on BYSQ Itz Showtime for your fans, just to say your first time ever. So let's see, your first car.
My first car, which I bought with my first earning, was a second-hand Mercedes, which felt very good.
Absolutely. I'm sure keychain abhi tak hai uski.
हाँ जी? नहीं, वो तो बहुत देर की बेच दी थी मैंने. कुछ भी नहीं है.
So in that case, the first paycheck.
First paycheck came when I moved to Dubai, and oh my God, that felt great. I sent it straight to my parents. It was a very proud moment for all of us.
Wow.
Yeah, this was, I think, back in 1994 or 93, somewhere there.
Amazing. Yeah, the feeling is always thrilling, isn't it? Your first concert.
Yeah. My first concert happened in Dubai after the release of my very first song, Punjabi Munde, and the album New Styling. That was an unreal experience. I never expected to experience that in my wildest dreams. I had performed before, but it was a very sober audience where people, are just enjoying the music. But here, these are like young, screaming fans, people who have watched the video, and oh my God, I was singing. I couldn't hear myself singing because they were just screaming. So this happened in Dubai at the Dubai World Trade Center, and oh my God, that was I still it feels like it just happened yesterday, and so it was very, very surreal.
Absolutely. As I was saying, the feeling is thriller. In that case, Billboard thriller artist, it's been top 4 song Nachdi. How can we not forget congratulating on you? It's still buzzing in the market. So we look forward, guys. We're going to play this song at the end of the interview. So definitely, stay there and have a look on our channel, BYSQ Itz Showtime. Your first brand, or I would say music label association, what was it?
It was BMG Crescendo.
Okay,
yes, so
great.
It's BMG Crescendo that we released most of my albums on.
Yes. Okay, and your first, instrument that you ever played?
It has to be the harmonium.
Okay, great. Dubai or India? What do you prefer, Sukhbir?
India.
India? Always hand to heart.
There's a very deep sense of belonging. Whenever I land here, it's just अपनापन लगता है.
वो बात सही है. हम भी यहाँ पे है ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी, but there's always there, when you land, you still feel that you belong here. and we're still
Yes,
on
yes,
that
yes.
boat that we keep going between islands. But that's your, so which your inspiration or your guru in music? Anybody you regard to that level?
Yeah, it's got to be my dad who initially guided me. My vocal skills come from there. My composing skills come from there because he used to
Mm-hmm.
compose shabads to sing in the Gurudwara. And I think I follow the same system that he follows. To start off with a melody and then you work the words into the melody. So my compositions, my music is, I think, heavily influenced by my dad.
Right. You're very, very humble and kind, to acknowledge, obviously, that's back to your roots. And I'm sure, that always is still every song that's been there. You know how you said, was Nachti the very first song that you were planning to release and that did not happen? Is that what was the case?
Yes, 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 yes. It was in my very first album, and I had selected Nachti as the song that the video should be made. Back in the day, we needed 8 songs in a cassette, so you can
Correct.
change the side.
Yes, A and B.
I don't think many people, today's millennials relate to that much. But then, so out of those 8 songs, one song had to be selected where a video will be made, and then that song will be promoted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my song was Nachti, and the record label said, and I think Punjabi Munde was a very close second for me. And the record label, I think they decided Punjabi Munde should be first because I was a Punjabi Munda and the song was Punjabi Munde.
Uh-huh.
To them, it made more commercial sense, maybe.
Absolutely. But here we are, whether it's 2 decades later, the heart still strings to that beat. So we are there, we're still listening to it and enjoying, and maybe it will be the next wedding anthem, Nachti, or for that matter the new love song that's going to come up. So we are looking forward to that for sure. We did see your clipping with Akshay Kumar Baji in the Bang Hong Kong tour. I mean, your camaraderie with him goes before and after and beyond that. If you could just share, obviously we've seen that buzz happening in Sauda Khara Khara. Obviously, it's just amazing, full of energy. How else does it go with the journey with your friend Akshay ji?
I think he's been a very dear friend for many years. We met when he wanted me to perform with him at an award ceremony in New York City. We did that, and after that, we kept in touch, and we performed at many private events. And then Hong Kong happened, where there was a Dabang tour. I think him and I were not part of the tour, but a common friend that we have is who arranged the Dabang show in Hong Kong. So he wanted Akshay and me to perform together. So that's how it initially took off, and it was an amazing experience because he's a live wire on stage, and so am I, and both our energies are very positive, and we both focus on getting the crowd involved, and a lot of screams, a lot of shouting positively, and a lot of dancing, and a lot of jumping into the crowd as well. And he loves climbing up, down, jumping. He's like an action, live wire, and very, very inspirational, and an amazing human being, if I can just quickly throw that in.
Absolutely. And we can see that whenever you both are together, perfectly, there's this buzzing friendship there, and we enjoy the most, I must say. आपसे ज़्यादा हमें on screen पे ज़्यादा मजा आता है उस हिसाब से. Talking about Akshay Kumar Baji and then yourself, are you a morning person or a late evening person?
Oh no, I'm an anytime person.
Oh wow.
We don't have any times like when the show is happening, when you have to wake up after sleeping for half an hour or 45 minutes. You have to get up and just be functioning, and there's no other option.
Absolutely. I mean, that's true.
Yes, I'm a morning person, but we don't have a routine. Like I can't say every day we wake up at 6. There's no routine in this profession. It's dependent on where your next work is, and you have to just get up and get going. There's no option. Thoda main aur so lu. No. If it's a 4 a.m. wake up, you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and quickly get ready and just go.
Wow. That's definitely a motivating message for upcoming artists, for that matter, independent artists also, and especially 2020 being let's say not so dull but dull for many. Any message have you got for aspiring artists there? You came back in 2021, start of the month, with a bang, Nachti. I'm sure a lot of people want to kickstart 2021 with a bang. How can they do that?
Absolutely. I think my message to independent artists is the time is right. You have all the platforms available to you at your fingertips in the comfort of your home
Uh-huh.
to make any song, to release any song to a instant global audience. I think you should really take advantage of the situation as I am and make your music known. Spread the love, spread your music, spread your creations globally. Uh, the independent artist is very independent in today's
Mhm.
day and age. Back in the day, we did not have this support, and now it's there, and I think we should all make good use of it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's very well encapsulated, I must say, and pretty motivating to some independent artists out there. It's you can feel it in his music, and you've heard it from himself, Sukhbir ji. What's the next that can get you going in this Generation Z? Let's call it that way to all the millennials. Talking about platforms, we must acknowledge more than 1 million, listeners on Spotify. I mean,
Yeah.
that's definitely a big engagement with your fans, and they would be looking forward to the new love song. But what do you think? Which is the most played back song from yours? What do you think from your own creations? Which is your most playback songs among your fans?
Um, well, if you go according to the data, so Sauda Khara Khara from the film Good News is still sitting at number one as the
Mm-hmm.
highest streaming number. It's current and it's got Akshay Kumar, it's got Diljit Dosanjh, it's got Kiara Advani and myself. So a huge audience there. You have the Bollywood fans who follow Akshay and Kiara, and we've got Diljit's fans and we've got
Yes.
my fans. So if you pool all that together, so Soda Khara Khara definitely, and it's a very special song and very close to my heart because my dad wrote this song for me.
Mhm.
He writes spiritual poetry, but I
Wow.
kind of twisted his arm to write for me, and he wrote this. So Soda Khara Khara, very very close to my
Yeah, so
heart.
definitely, but I think that's personal favorite too, whether it's kids or elders or somebody who's just getting married. Definitely, that's a song that's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
being
We
played.
see a lot of requests at my wedding performances. There's okay, Soda Khara. I have to sing it at least minimum of two times.
Wow.
It's definitely a wedding anthem because you can see many wedding routines being made on that. We get a lot of videos shared on Instagram, and yeah, it seems to be the current wedding favorite as well, along with Ishq, obviously.
Yes, definitely, that's there. Sukhbir, is there any particular routine you follow for just to keep yourself upbeat? With not, I would say vocals, but just in general, just to be creative every other day with the new song that you come up. Is there a routine that you follow?
Um, as far as vocal training goes, yes, I have started. So there is a routine. You have to do riyaz every day. And as far as creating music, that you can't enforce. That
Hmm.
creativity is kind of a free flowing energy, which I think comes from the creator. And we are just merely instruments. So when an idea just pops in, you
Uh-huh.
know that hey, there's a connect, there's a melody, and I think it's really good. And back in the day, it was very frustrating because you had no device on you to record uh, what you thought. Let's say you
Hmm.
were out in the open, and but nowadays on your mobile phones, that's become very. It's a very useful tool just to record voice notes and just keep them for later. So yeah, so creativity, I strongly believe, comes from the creator.
Hmm.
There's no other place,
Wow.
and we're just expressing the creator's creation.
Yeah, that's a divine connection that's always there. That's why they call this goddess of Saraswati, which is music, and you always connect
Yeah.
back. Definitely with
Yes.
music and God there, but thank God to voice notes also. The memory now gets captured quickly, and when it comes to going to studio, obviously there's a different
Yeah.
tuning that you are able to realize versus your imagination there. So from the time of best debut album, best male vocalist to best music video, to recreating Nachdi from your 1996 dream to 2021. Is there any different way you did Nachdi, or you still kept it original to heart, how you had written or sung it?
I know the creative process is very similar. It's just that music keeps evolving. You'll hear a lot of more contemporary sounds being used in my productions today. I think one has to evolve with the evolving times, and it's also what you get influenced with. I've been listening to a lot of contemporary modern music, and you get influenced with that, and you can hear that creeping into my productions now. So I don't think I'm making a conscious effort to make something sound different. It's just what comes very naturally to me at that point of given time.
Yes, great. I think the only twist would be having Arjun there, featuring Arjun there, because I'm sure he wasn't a known name then. Obviously, he just popped up now.
Yes. It's funny you mentioned that, because the original Nachdi, it had a Punjabi rap as well, a Punjabi and English rap. A friend of mine rapped back then, when raps were not like the in thing. And I thought it needed that. And so I got connected to Arjun through Guru Randhawa, because I was a fan of his when he rapped on Tenu Suit Karda with Guru.
Yes.
So I spoke to him and I said, hey, I have this amazing song, and which I feel you can do a lot of justice to. And usually there's a lot of to and fro, he sends an idea, I say yes, no, maybe, isko thoda change karo. But he took a couple of days, and then he came back with this amazing rap that just fit so very well.
Wow.
He wrote the lyrics and he composed the melody of the rap, and he rapped it. And it really put that finishing touch to the song, which I was very happy with.
And I'm sure so are we. We keep foot tapping to that song as it's growing popularity every day on all the streaming channels. It's just not YouTube. Everywhere is where we can hear Nachdi. So Saryanu, I'm sure they had a great time on this time with you, Sukhbir ji, on BYSQ Itz Showtime. We would love to have a shout out for our channel if you could, and especially Valentine's Day is coming up. If you'd love to share a message with your fans and followers, please.
Sure, absolutely. So guys, thank you so very much for your love and support. Please keep watching this space. I'd love to come back, and every time I release anything new, it'll be great to chat to you again and have a heart-to-heart conversation and speak about the journey of that particular song and anything new that's happening in my life. So thank you so much for having me on this platform and giving me this space to express my thoughts, my feelings, and my music.
Thank you, Sukhbir ji. We are privileged and indeed humbled to have your time and presence here, and we are joining together from Australia to celebrate the success of Nachdi. We wish you the best.
ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਹਟ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਜਦ ਖੁੱਲ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਬਸ ਤੇਰੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਮਰਦੀ ਉਹ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਹਟ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲ ਅੱਖੀਆਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਉਹ ਹੱਥ ਤਾਰ ਕੇ ਰੁਮਾਲ ਉਹ ਕਰਦੀ ਕਮਾਲ ਮੁੱਕ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਨੀ ਉਹਦਾ ਦਿਲਾ ਓਏ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਓਏ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਉਹ ਨੱਚਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ I'm in love, yeah. I never thought I had a chance with you. Mary John, she be shaking it all night.